Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. President of Insurance Europe, Mr. President of UNESPA, dear Pilar, Mr. President of MAFRE, dear Antonio, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. And I would like to express my sincere gratitude to both UNESPA and Insurance Europe for the opportunity to stay today here and to have the opportunity to address the attendees of Insurance Europe's 10th International Conference. Insurance Europe brings together insurers from all over the continent through the national organization in Spain. That organization, as you perfectly know, is UNESPA. Dear Pilar, I would like to congratulate you on your magnificent work and for your success in hosting this conference in Spain for the first time. This conference has a large number of insurance professionals attending who have come to Madrid from all over Europe and from around the world. On behalf of the government of Spain, I welcome you to this wonderful city. I hope you have a happy stay with us, and in addition to, of course, actively participating in the conference, I hope you have the chance to get to know us a little better. I'm sure that UNESPA, its president, and the members should make wonderful hosts for all of you. When someone attempts to learn a language, I think there is no way to do so than to travel to a place where they speak that language. There you will be able to enjoy the so-called language immersion. Well, when getting to know a new country, exactly the same thing occurs. It doesn't matter how much you have read or learn about it, everything you knew takes on a new form when you visit the country. You have come to a country in the midst of a celebration. 40 years ago, we, the Spanish, adopted in a referendum our constitution on the 29th of December 1978. Today, we, in Spain, refer to those years as the transition. It was a period characterized by harmony and the overcoming of difference. Citizens, political parties, institutions, we were able to look forward, trying to find the best solutions for everyone. I think it's not an exaggeration to say that these last 4 decades have been the greatest period of prosperity and development ever seen in Spain's long history. I believe that we have exceeded the goals we set for ourselves in 1978. For that reason, we, Spaniards, feel very proud of what we have achieved together. Our strength as a country is what has allowed us to overcome the difficulties of the financial crisis that we have, all of us, suffered. Let me present very briefly some data in this regard. 6 years ago, no one could have imagined we would end up here. And we aspire to do even better because of the extraordinary potential of our country, our society, and our businesses. And because our reforms, we have made it possible to improve our regulatory framework, propping up one of the, I think, critical pillars of any country that competes at the global level, the credibility. This trust has brought back our economy strength. With 5 consecutive years of growth, 3 of them above the 3%. Today, we are the country with the most growth among the developed countries, and we are also the most competitive tourist destination, and for the first time, according to the World Bank, we are among the 30 countries with the best business climates in the world. All this may help explain how, in 2017, we have reached the highest level of foreign investment in Spain since 2008. The trust has also brought back our social strength. We have managed to safeguard our welfare state, and with the best job creation policies in Europe, we have been able to face a challenge that was, until recently, unthinkable: how to achieve 20 million people working before 2020. In this sense, the insurance industry is a good example of the strength of our economy. Although Pilar has already discussed this a bit, I want to mention some data that highlight the importance of the insurance industry in Spain. The insurance industry in Spain is 1.5% of the global insurance industry and 4.7% of the European insurance industry. As well explained by UNESPA, there are 190 million accidents in Spain per year, with the consequent production of 100,000 claims per year, each resolved in an average 18 days. This industry is, of course, a source of quality employment. There are 50,000 direct jobs in the sector and 80,000 insurance brokers. 90,000% of these employees have full-time contracts. Equality is also absolute, as 50% of these workers are women. The corporate sector is made up of 231 companies. 88% of the capital of them is Spanish. Dear Karel, Erasmus of Rotterdam was a professor of the Catholic University Leuven, which you also belong to. 500 years ago, Erasmus said that when there was one language, we were all one body. When we, the Europeans, wherever the language we speak, have been able to contradict this maxim of Erasmus, and despite our diversity, we have returned to form a single body, the European Union. We have also managed to create bonds beyond the European Union, such as the European Economic Area, and also bilateral ties with other countries of the continent that do not belong to these two organizations. You, Insurance Europe, are an extraordinary example of collaboration between Europeans, because it includes 35 countries for the continent among its members. The figures are quite eloquent. The companies that make up Europe Insurance employ 940,000 people and represent 95% of the industry. This conference, however, like previous one, looks beyond Europe, discussing aspects that affect the scope of the insurance industry at the global level. In fact, some of the speakers are from countries outside Europe. I would like to take this opportunity to recall on this occasion the pride we, Spanish, feel to the bridge for communication between Europe and Latin America. These are the two political and cultural areas to which we belong and with which we are paired. In 1993, the United Nations commissioned a study on the insurance industry in the international areas. The study, after analyzing 133 countries, stressed that only seven countries allow foreign insurance companies to operate with complete freedom, while 35 were completely banned from operation. 25 years later, everything has changed. Everything has changed. In a globalized world, the insurance industry has been able to overcome the barriers. But many challenges still remain, of course. This conference includes various panels discussing such issues as natural catastrophe, cyber attacks, or pension system. Although this is, I know perfectly, an international forum, I'm going to briefly refer some internal issues which I think may be of interest to you. The government of Spain is working to meet the request of the insurance industry and improve services for the citizens. Therefore, I would like to mention a reform that has been promoted by the ministry I lead. Pilar has mentioned, and she and all the team knows very well how far we have all together worked to update the accident scale by a law in 2015. Today, millions of journeys are made daily, like in your countries, of course, making it necessary to have good regulation to deal with the consequences of accidents. The new scale, approved by the law, has been inspired by a basic principle. Compensation of bodily injury must fully indemnify the damage suffered by the victims. The intention is to return the victim as much as possible to the economic situation they would be in if the accident had not occurred. The European Commission have recommended better regulation to the member countries in order to achieve smart regulation. To do so, we are asked to include elements that allow comprehensive assessment on rules and standards. The accident scale do this through its monitoring commission, which is presided jointly by the Director of Insurance and the Secretary of the Minister of Justice. In addition, the Commission also includes insurance companies and victims association also in it. It monitors the application of the law, resolving any doubt and proposing improvement. It is a major step forward. We are working very hard to transpose in Spain all the regulation in Europe that you perfectly know. For example, the directive of the European Parliament and the Council for the minimum requirement for enhancing worker mobility of workers between member states. Also, the directive related to the annual financial statement, consolidate financial statement and related reports of certain types of undertakings, and so all the rules approved by the European Commission and that the state members have to translate to our legislation. I finish saying that the latest report published by Insurance Europe includes an article signed by one of the organization members, Mr. William Bidonja, Head of Single Market and Social Affairs at Insurance Europe. I would like to conclude by quoting one of the ideas mentioned by William when he said, "The future is tied to innovation." I could not agree more. Without a doubt, this conference will help improve the product and services that the companies you represent offer to the market. We must not forget that the ultimate purpose of your business is to serve the society and its citizens and the consumers. Thank you very much for your attention.